Welcome back to the PAC Sports Network as we are at the break between Allegheny and Westminster, and we're now joined by the head men's basketball coach for Westminster, Coach David Richards. Coach, thanks for joining us as always. I know we'll get into the pressing matter, you at a new school in the conference, but I want to get into the early season action. How's the early part of the year been for you in Westminster?
It's been great. Our guys have been great in practice. They come every day ready to compete and get better. We have a very experienced group. It's been great to coach them so far. I know we got a long way to go with how good the pack's going to be this year, but up until right now, we're very pleased.
Well, I know that this is a new place for you, not a new place in terms of your life since you graduated from Westminster and played there, but new in terms of coaching. What has it been like taking over the Titan program, especially staying in conference and also with your familiarity playing there back in the day?
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the reasons I made the move was because I played here and I have such so much respect for the program. I've talked about it a ton. My dad played here in the '80s. My mom went here, so I've been coming to games since I was 6 years old. So it's great just to come back to this program and to give back this to the program that gave so much to me. So it's great to be back. The people around here are awesome. Can't express how happy I am to be back here.
When you came over from Chatham, how much did you try to bring over in terms of your coaching, your style from Chatham to Westminster, or did you want to maybe try some things out new and kind of have a fresh slate?
Yeah, we do a lot of very similar things that we've done at Chatham in my 7 years there. We've had to adjust a little bit with personnel wise. We kind of have more, I would say, depth with interior players this year, so we had to switch some things up. Just playing style wise. But just from a program standpoint, a culture standpoint, we're doing a lot of the very very similar things that we did at Chatham.
Well, you've had some impressive scoring outputs offensively, and the scoring led by DJ Harrell. He's been off to a great start. What makes him such a dynamic player?
Yeah, DJ's been a great addition for us. He's one of those guys that you just put the ball in his hands and he's going to make a play. He's just a terrific playmaker. He's very unselfish. The first 2 weeks of practice, we actually had to tell him, look to score more. He just has a unique ability to get in the paint and make plays for others. We expect him to have a really good year for us. I just think he's going to continue to get better as he plays more with these guys and as the season progresses.
You also have Drew Weir back in the fold, and I've always felt he's been one of the most unique players in the conference with his versatility, his size, his length. How does his versatility allow for others like DJ and others to get freed up and really allow for that offense to move?
Yeah, Drew's definitely are one of the most versatile players. On the defensive side, he can guard 1 through 5. Offensively, we use him in a lot of different scenarios. We look to post him up a lot. He's a really good shooter. We look for pick and pop stuff for him. He really allows us to do a lot of different things offensively and defensively. And when he's playing at that 5 spot, it makes us hard to guard because the spacing we have and his ability to pick and pop. It just allows the other guys to make plays. So he's a very big piece for us.
You mentioned the depth down low, and I know that when you were at Chatham, you didn't have the size that you now have at Westminster. And Alex Rothwell and Trey DePietro, really that kind of 1A, 1B in terms of your post presence. How do you envision those two playing off of each other? What is kind of the game plan to have, those two in the game simultaneously, different shifts? What is kind of the agenda with those two?
Yeah, those two they've been great so far, and they battle in practice, which is awesome. Trey was out all year last year with an ACL injury. He's been great to have back. He had 2 really good years as a freshman sophomore. He was really one of the most skilled bigs in our league, so it's great to have him back. He's really picked up our offense really well. He's a great passer in our offense and really understands the game. He has really high IQ. And Alex is a really good interior finisher. He's a guy we look to throw it inside. He has a great touch around the rim. So those guys do a great job competing in practice, and they're 2 really good pieces for us to play down low.
And we talked about the experience that you have on this team. How have you seen that experience kind of show itself early in the year?
Yeah, we have a lot of experience, which has been great, and it's been really to help our new and our younger guys. We have 4 freshmen, that were new this year, and our seniors have been great of kind of teaching them kind of the ropes of college basketball. And even, with DJ, he's a new guy, but, he's an experienced player too. So our experience has really helped us to kind of progress a lot quicker than I thought. So, very, very pleased with our senior group.
Well, Coach, it's always a pleasure to talk hoops with you. Always a good time of year when you and I are back during the halftime chats. But before we let you run, I'm curious to hear from you. You built championship caliber teams at Chatham. What do you think it's going to be, especially in year one for you, that will be important and impactful to getting Westminster to that championship conversation like at Chatham?
Yeah, and it's really no different. I mean, the pack is really deep this year. There's a lot of talented teams. The teams that really compete defensively, do a great job rebounding and play with a edge that's unmatched, are going to be the better teams this year. And that's kind of the thing we've been talking about a ton with these guys is, we have to defend at a high level. We have to defend and rebound as a team. And then we have to play with an energy and a toughness that's really unmatched every single night. The teams that do that are going to come out on top. From top to bottom, there's a ton of talent in this league. There's a lot of good coaches, so it's going to be a battle every single night. But we'll be ready to go.
Coach, as always, a pleasure to chat and excited for you and Westminster to hit the hardwood this year for PAC play. As always, thanks for joining us and good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, Jack.
That's Westminster men's basketball head coach David Richards. Stick with us. We'll have the second half between Allegheny and Westminster coming up next on the PAC Sports Network.